A $1.7 trillion spending bill awaits President Biden's signature after being passed by the House earlier today. The massive spending package serves to fund the government through most of next year. It must be signed by the president by midnight Friday to avert a government shutdown. Joining us now is CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion. Nikole, great to see you. So let's start and tick off a few items about what is actually in this package.
Well, as you know, Meg, this is a massive spending bill that will fund the government through the next year, and it cost roughly $1.7 trillion. Most of that is defense spending. There is a significant amount, in fact, a 10% increase in defense spending in this package, along with about $45 billion for Ukraine, as well as additional funding for disaster aid and assistance here at home. On top of that, you have a number of other pieces of legislation that made it into this package, including a ban on TikTok from government phones and electoral reforms. As you know, we have just wrapped up the January 6th investigation here on Capitol Hill. One of the key recommendations coming out of that panel was to reform the process by which Congress certifies its elections. So that legislation also part of this omnibus package.
Nikole, as you know, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy railed against the bill as, quote, a slap in the face to every American that voted prior to its passage earlier today. Let's take a listen.
This is a monstrosity that is one of the most shameful acts I've ever seen in this body. The appropriations process has failed the American public, and there's no greater example of the nail in the coffin of the greatest failure of a one-party rule of the House, the Senate, and the presidency of this bill here.
Why are some Republicans so opposed to this bill, not to mention passionate, as we just heard from McCarthy?
Well, again, it comes down to the level of spending and the view of some Republicans. They feel that this is wasteful spending, not necessarily all of it, but also in the case of House Republicans, for the most part, they felt that they were cut out of the negotiating process. Ultimately, this bill was largely crafted by two retiring Senators Leahy and Shelby over in the Senate, Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro in the House. But because of that, some Republicans felt that this didn't necessarily reflect their priorities, and so they simply wanted to do a short-term funding bill so that they could have more of a say-so when Republicans take over the House in the new year.
The House voted, this happened at the same day that the temporary funding expires, which raises the question, why did they wait until the last minute?
Well, I would say for those of us who cover Congress, it's not so shocking because we've been here many times before where, honestly, these bills get passed before the stroke of midnight, when these deadlines are due to expire. So unfortunately, it just kind of comes with the territory and is sometimes how Congress works. But, in the case of this appropriations package, it did take some time to negotiate. So that is largely why it kind of came down to the wire. And then, of course, there were starts and stops along the way. In the Senate, there was a big debate over whether to include, for instance, an amendment over the issue of Title 42 and the border, which we know is a big issue right now. So that kind of gummed up the works a little bit. And then, again, just the whole process of the bill. I mean, this bill spans about 4,000 pages. So even though it passed the Senate yesterday, just the time to process the legislation and move it over to the other side of Capitol Hill to the House simply was a process that did take some time, and so that's why the House had to wait and take it up today.
Nikole, did President Zelensky's visit this week have any impact on this?
Only from the standpoint of reinforcing the desire among many lawmakers to include that aid for Ukraine. While President Zelensky did not reference it directly, he did make the point, as you may recall in his speech, that, the money that goes to his country is not charity in his view, that it is an investment in global security. So, again, the president of Ukraine really trying to make that case to members of Congress about the need not only to provide aid to the country now in this omnibus package, but down the road in the future, again, when we see Republicans take control of the House, because many have said they don't want to continue to write a blank check to Ukraine. They've expressed concerns about desiring more oversight. And so that was in part why you saw the Ukrainian president with such a forceful message earlier this week.
And last question, Nikole, any idea when the president is actually going to sign this legislation?
You know, President Biden has made clear that he is going to sign this legislation right away as soon as he can. Obviously, you know, the funding of the government is a key priority. This is something that the White House wants to ensure gets done. So the president expected to sign it in short order.
All right.
Meg.
Thank you, Nikole. Nikole Killion for us on Capitol Hill. Appreciate it.
You bet. Happy holidays.